South Korea is, without exaggerating, one of the greatest economic miracles in history. From the 1960s onward, it multiplied its per capita GDP more than 300 times. But what's truly staggering is where it started from. South Korea was one of the world's poorest places, with widespread illiteracy, massive unemployment, and a population surviving on US aid. Life expectancy was low, infrastructure was non-existent, and even some African nations had higher incomes. Heck, North Korea was doing better back then. Today, the picture is completely flipped. South Koreans are among the wealthiest in Asia, with a high-tech economy that's the envy of the world. They didn't just catch up to poor countries, they leapfrogged almost everyone, building global leaders in electronics, autos, and shipbuilding. How did this happen? It came down to seizing the global moment perfectly. South Korea capitalized on the world's search for cheap, reliable manufacturing hubs during the Cold War era. They had a hard-working, disciplined workforce with a deep cultural emphasis on education and sacrifice. The government stepped in decisively, shifting from an agrarian, aid-dependent nation to an export-driven powerhouse. With strategic planning, they nurtured massive conglomerates. Industrial giants like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG emerged, corporations that, in just decades, went from assembling basic goods to dominating global innovation. Suddenly, Korean tech flooded markets worldwide. The GDP chart tells it all, a classic hockey stick curve of explosive growth. But now, shockingly, that engine is sputtering. South Korea's GDP has been sluggish for years, with growth dipping to around 1 to 2% annually in recent times. And honestly, things don't look set to improve soon. The headwinds are piling up. First, a demographic crisis that's one of the worst on the planet. The fertility rate hovers around 0.75 children per woman, the lowest globally. You need 2.1 just to maintain population. The result? A shrinking workforce and exploding elderly dependency ratio. By mid-century, nearly half the population could be over 65. Second, geopolitical tensions. The North remains a wild card, draining resources on defense. U.S. alliance dynamics have shifted, with trade frictions and tariff threats under recent administrations hitting exports hard. The U.S. takes a big chunk of them. Add in soaring energy costs, lagging productivity compared to OECD peers, and fierce competition from China and Taiwan closing the tech gap fast. And then, political chaos. The 2024 martial law declaration led to President Yoon's impeachment and removal in April 2025, creating months of instability that hammered investor confidence. So, what's going on in South Korea? How did the miracle hit this wall? And crucially, what does the future hold? Let's break it down. After the Korean War, the country was in ruins. Divided, devastated, no real industry, just poverty and uncertainty. But against all odds, growth exploded. They called it the miracle on the Han River. And it wasn't pure luck. It was a precise mix: smart state intervention, favorable global conditions, and a national culture of hard work and education. The government guided the market, picking winners in key sectors, offering incentives for manufacturing and tech, pushing exports aggressively, and keeping costs competitive. This spawned the cables, family-led conglomerates like Samsung, Hyundai, LG, powerhouses that drove the boom. South Korea played the Cold War smartly. As a key U.S. ally, it got market access, investment, and tech transfers. Washington needed anti-communist bulwarks in Asia, and Seoul delivered. The people themselves were key: high savings rates, massive education investment, disciplined workforce. They climbed the value chain, from basic assembly to cutting-edge R&D, competing head-on with the West. Policies evolved deliberately: import substitution first, then full-throttle exports. The payoff? From aid recipient to global tech leader in decades. But that flawless machine is showing cracks. After averaging high growth for generations, rates have slumped. Forecasts for the 2020s hover around 1%, with risks of even lower amid tariffs and slowdowns. Why the stall? Traditional edges are eroding. Cheap labor? Gone. Wages have risen sharply. Energy advantages? Vanished with global price spikes. Productivity lags behind many peers. Original innovation remains a weak spot, leaving vulnerability to rivals like China and Taiwan who've surged ahead. Take displays. Korean firms once dominated. Now market shares have slipped amid cutthroat competition. But nothing compares to the demographic bomb. Lowest fertility on Earth means population decline is baked in. Working age folks shrinking fast. Projections show GDP hits from lost labor, soaring social costs. Reversing it? Tough. Cultural shifts away from big families, Plus, economic pressures like high housing costs and job insecurity create a vicious cycle. Slow growth discourages kids, fewer kids slow growth more. Then the political shock. Yoon Suk-yeol's late 2024 martial law bid led to his December impeachment, April 2025 removal by the court, and a snap election installing Lee Jae-myung. The turmoil froze reforms, scared off investment, and deepened uncertainty. South Korea now faces a triple threat: economic stagnation, demographic collapse, political fallout. Yet there's a potential lifeline: the AI boom. Global demand for advanced chips is skyrocketing. South Korea is already a semiconductor titan. Samsung and SK Hynix lead in memory. They're doubling down, massive investments in the Yongin cluster, aiming for the world's largest fab complex. Plans call for dozens of new plants, billions poured in, targeting dominance in AI chips. Geopolitically, US-China tech war plays to their advantage. Restrictions on Chinese firms open doors for trusted Korean suppliers. Sounds promising, right? But is it enough? Short answer, probably not on its own. The new administration is pushing progressive policies, more regulation, labor rights expansions, green mandates, that, while well-intentioned, could raise costs and crimp competitiveness when the economy needs flexibility most. Global rivalry is brutal. Chips are strategic, drones, missiles, AI all depend on them. No major power wants reliance on foreigners, so everyone's subsidizing domestic production. US with huge incentives, Japan ramping up, China pouring billions despite restrictions. Korean firms are even building abroad, lured by those subsidies and stable energy, shifting know-how overseas. Plus, oversupply risks loom as everyone builds capacity, potentially crashing prices and profits. Even if the chip bet pays off big, over-reliance on one sector is dangerous. Lack of diversification leaves the whole economy exposed. If semiconductors falter, the house of cards could tumble. So, the million-dollar question: can South Korea reinvent itself again and reclaim explosive growth? Or has the miracle finally peaked? Some see hope in AI leadership, automation to offset demographics, and policy tweaks. Others worry structural traps, debt, inequality, chaebol dominance, will keep it in low-growth limbo. What do you think? Will South Korea pull off another comeback through tech and bold reforms? Or are we watching its golden era fade? Drop your thoughts in the comments. As always, new videos drop weekly. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss them. If you like this, smash that like button. See you next time. Take care.